Hi guys, this is Sam Bismuth, and this is my morning message for CPI. And today I wanted to make my morning message about non-linearity. I want you to remember that the socialist struggle is not the same as farming XP in a video game. It's not the same as saving money into, say, your 401k. Right? It's not just a number that goes up, the membership number of an org, or the amount of money that it makes, or the amount of social capital that it has, does not increase linearly. There are times when it may increase linearly, go from 10 to 20 to 30 to 40 members. There are times when it might increase exponentially, go from 1 to 10 to 100 to 1,000 members. All this is true, but there are also times when it is going to decrease. Things can start over. Things can fall, be cut in half, right? So we need to remember this, that things don't go linearly. And linear growth, linear movement is the most easily comprehensible. An object in motion will stay in motion unless acted upon by another force. So in a sense, linear is constant, right? But things are not going to be easy to comprehend. And at times there will be a lull, and at times there will be an explosion. So when you think about CPI right now, remember this org is not even 5 years old. When you think about CPI right now, you may not have a clear image in your head of what we're going to look like 2, 3, 5, 10, 20 years in the future. In fact, I would guess that if you're living in America right now, you're feeling very uncertain about the future in general. And that's exactly why we need to remember that things do not go linearly. And I can tell you right now that the way you feel right now in CPI, right? The way you feel right now, you might be feeling a lot of pressure. I think you should be. You should be feeling pressure to try to grow the org. Build IRL connections with people. Build online connections with people. Right? Advocate for CPI. Do work to do what you can. Do work to develop yourself, develop your skills, integrate yourself better with the org, get better at writing, get better at speaking, all these things, and figure out what is going through the head of Americans right now. This is very important work to be doing. And so all of this pressure, and you may not be seeing the results that you expect right away. We may not have linear growth or exponential growth. We may have expectations upon us. We may have a feeling of confusion or failure. But we're all still here, aren't we? Aren't we still here? And don't we still have the intention to achieve what we're trying to achieve? And aren't we on the eve of the collapse of U.S. imperialism right now? Aren't we on the eve of an economic collapse of America, an ongoing economic collapse, a financial and economic situation that is spiraling out of control. The situation itself is not linear. There are times when America recovers. There are times when America falls greatly. There are cycles, and there are cycles within cycles. We go from leader to leader, from policy to policy, and unexpected things can and will happen, and we need to be ready to respond to them the moment that they happened. Nobody could have predicted the Uhuru raids in advance. Maybe historically we've seen the pattern of how communist or anti-imperialist groups have been targeted. Sure, we can see that pattern, but we didn't know. We didn't know there would be a raid on Uhuru. Right? So you can't see the future. Which means that you should leave as little to chance as you can. But don't expect that you can actually dictate what will happen. And I want everyone watching this right now to think about the power that you have as an individual to steer yourself and steer this organization towards success. And I want you to be ready to adapt to the circumstances that could change in a flash. They can change in a flash. Unexpected things happen. They can happen, they will happen. And that is not linear. That is not something that we can graph out. It is not something we can write a function for. But what we can confidently say is that when we look at the beliefs of CPI, and when we look at the practices of CPI, there is a massive potential for these things to become a reality in ways that you would never, ever expect. And there is a massive sleeping giant, the American people. And it's asleep. But what's going to happen when it wakes up? What are people going to demand? This economic collapse that's coming. Now, I think our jobs will be replaced with AI. I really genuinely think that. But we don't know what the ruling class has in store. We don't know what's being planned behind doors, behind closed doors. We could be completely scrubbed from the internet. You don't know what's going to happen. But you have power as an individual to do what you can, and we need to keep doing it. Because if you don't do it, nobody will. Right now, that thing you're thinking, maybe I should do this, maybe I should do this, do it. Do it. Write that article. Talk to that person. Figure out what it is you can do. And do it. And if you don't know what to do, there's plenty to do. So go ahead and ask. And remember, it always feels good to get something done. We love to work, we love to do things. As human beings, that is what we do, that is what we love to do, and that is what we will do, that is what we must do. So best wishes to everybody, and I will talk to you again in the future. Bye-bye.